Hey everyone, welcome back to Installation 00, and this is the most detailed video series. Today we're going to look at quite possibly one of the most requested armor systems you guys have consistently asked me to cover. I know it's taken a long time to get to it, but as I'm sure you can appreciate, the level of detail I insist on getting down to here is such that it can take a fairly significant amount of time to research the more finer details of the various projects I have covered so far. There are more on the way, but today we're looking at the ODST Battle Dress Uniform. As with the previous most detailed breakdowns of armour, we will work from the outside in, analysing every layer and component as we go. Let's get started. The ODST body armour is a signature piece of equipment used by the orbital drop shock troopers. The suit, which is produced by Mistria Armoury, is vacuum rated and is capable of extravehicular activity for 15 minutes. The armour provides numerous advantages in the field, including ballistic protection, temperature control, as well as thermal insulation against extreme temperatures experienced during atmospheric re-entry, and thermal protection from Covenant energy weapons. The ODST armour has gone through several design changes since the start of the Human Covenant War, with multiple models having seen production. The suit can be configured for a variety of combat roles and can even be used in conjunction with Mjolnir powered assault armour. The current version incorporates technology initially developed for the Mjolnir powered assault armour, most notably the helmet. The ODST BDU has been in service since the insurrection, and likely earlier than that. It remains unmatched in its ability to protect its wearer over the other BDUs currently in service during tough operations. The BDU excels at providing more protection against small arms fire than other infantry body armour, and also excels at allowing a trooper to conduct military operations in urban terrain with little chance of being detected in dark locations. Although a plethora of design innovations and improvements have been made since its inception, the very fact that the armour system has remained largely unchanged for decades speaks to how well the suit was originally designed, and how well it fits its purpose. That being said, since the creation of the Mjolnir project, and in particular the Gen 2 platforms, many of the innovations made to the ODST suit are compatible with Mjolnir, and some due to the aforementioned systems designed for Mjolnir, but also working vice versa, with some of the adaptive design features of the soldier class Mjolnir system being integrated to some newer models of the ODST armour in 2558. The armour plating of the ODST armour is matte black, although it is sometimes given a black and grey urban camouflage pattern. As with the vast majority of Human Covenant War era armour systems worn by humanity, a crystalline metallic composite refractive coating was applied to the upper surface of the armour plating. Due to the optical and thermal mechanical properties of this material, the plasma from Covenant weapons is distributed over a much larger surface area, leading to the heat being dissipated much faster, and thus minimising on localised heating of the armour plates. The armour itself is made of a ceramic titanium composite. Titanium carbide is generally accepted as the primary alloy used in the plating, and features desirable properties for application in the very situation-specific role of ODST body armour. It is extremely hard, rating at between 9 and 9.5 on the Mohs hardness scale. Being an alloy of titanium, it is significantly lighter than other iron-based alloys such as carbon steels. However, to assist in reducing weight still further, the plates are multi-layered with alternating layers of material, with carbon composites playing a significant role due to the reduced weight, high tensile strength, and thermal properties in being able to deal with the excessive heat of an orbital insertion without failure. Titanium carbide has a melting point of 3160 degrees centigrade, while carbon melts at 3550 degrees centigrade. Rayon-based carbon fibre reinforced composites exhibit low thermal conductivity along with good interlaminar shear strength and cross-ply tensile properties, making it ideal for anti-ballistic armour and heat resistance. All of these composites are then cast and fusion bonded into their respective armour components. The plates also feature various connection hardpoints for webbing, tactical pockets and pouches, attachment points for combat knives and sidearms, as well as tactical hard cases and various other peripheral equipment and storage solutions. The armour components cover the back and chest from the bottom of the clavicle to the bottom of the ribcage, with another segment protecting the abdomen. Some bodysuits feature an armoured collar that protects the wearer's neck, complementing the chest plate's coverage. A pair of wide, low-profile shoulder pauldrons are featured with some underlying armour plates, though some ODST, such as snipers or CQB specialists, may opt for an alternate model or none at all. The outer thighs, the shins and knees are well protected with the titanium ceramic guards, as are the forearms. All of these major components are connected to a weight-bearing, fully articulated structure which transfers the full weight of the armour plates directly into the floor so the wearer doesn't feel the weight of the suit when standing. There are only two known permutations of the suit which contain a powered movement system, although I use the term powered loosely, meaning all other permutations are considered non-powered, meaning that actually moving in the suit does take a degree of muscular effort to overcome the inertia of the suit. However, the efforts made to conserve weight do help infinitely in this regard. It is worth noting, however, that even with the armour's reduced weight, it still takes a duration of time for the wearer putting on the ODST battle armour to acclimatise to wearing and moving it. But in a short time, the wearer gets used to it and can operate at their peak physical ability once again. The power systems come from an internal surface-integrated microhydraulic system that passively generates back pressure to move the suit. A preform of hydraulic conduits are machined into a sandwich layer of high-density polymers on the inner surface of the armour plates. These lead to a series of microhydraulic rams rated at 150 pounds per square inch. The hydraulic conduits open to a reservoir of fluid which can be pressurised by activating the suit's hydraulic system. This pumps excess hydraulic fluid into the conduits, thereby increasing the pressure to a nominal value of 30 psi. The hydraulic rams are loop connected into set pairs with a flow rate adjuster. For example, if the knee bends, the rams on the back of the knee compress, forcing the hydraulic fluid they contain out of the rams through the flow rate adjuster and loops it straight into the hydraulic rams in the front of the knee, thereby allowing the knee to continue to bend, but while also checking the flow rate of the fluid and adjusting it based on a plethora of variables fed to it by the suit's BIOS and real-time situational systems sensors, thereby attenuating the rate of the knee bend and the amount of resistance or assistance it delivers, all simply from adjusting the flow rate from one side of the set pairs to the other, harnessing the natural properties of fluid dynamics in flow from areas of high to low pressure. This system also allows the suit the feature of fall impact negation technology. Since the hydraulic rams are rated up to 150 psi and their nominal pressure is 30 psi, it allows a margin of peripheral ad hoc usage, whereby if the suit's accelerometer and altimeter detect the suit is in free fall, it performs a quick but simple calculation on time spent in the air and increases the pressure of the compression side of the hydraulic system in the legs accordingly. When impact with the ground inevitably comes, the increased pressure acts as a shock absorber, allowing the suit's internal structure and physical properties to take the impact and dissipate the impact over a longer stroke distance. This does cause a sudden spike in the hydraulic fluid's temperature as the energy of the sudden force is absorbed under pressure, which has a knock-on effect of a marginal drop in the suit's responsiveness for a few seconds after the fall, while the temperature returns to normal. This system does have its limits, however, and sufficiently large enough drops will rupture the system, irreparably damaging the suit's function for the rest of the user's deployment and leaving the wearer to take the impact, which, depending on the distance of the fall, could still be fatal. The power for all the suit systems, including the microhydraulics, environment controls, BIOS and HUD systems, are all powered by a low-profile battery pack contained within the back of the suit's armour. Designated as the MLBE hard case, the rucksack issued to ODSTs is, for all intents and purposes, an armoured backpack that attaches to the back of the armoured vest. The rucksack comes in a number of different variants. The main purpose is storage, which allows a trooper to store equipment ranging from ammunition to medical supplies to explosives to battery packs, which provides power to any equipment an ODST may carry, and communications, which houses the necessary radio and satellite gear that an ODST squad requires to report in to their superiors. For longer missions, ODSTs can carry a larger rucksack with enough supplies for 2 weeks of operation without external resupply. Rucksacks have integrated magnetic holding devices to allow for external back mounting of additional equipment. Equipment with magnetic properties such as longer weaponry can be carried externally over the rucksack, eliminating the need to use additional straps and slings. Because the rucksack's casing is armoured with the same titanium carbide composite as the rest of the armour plates, it gives the ODST wearing it an additional layer of protection from behind. The BDU's stealth capability is partly thanks to its black and grey camouflage patterns on the legs, boots, gloves, chest, helmet and undersuit. These urban camouflage patterns are optional, but without this camouflage pattern, the BDU is black. On the left shoulder pad of every ODST is a UNSC Med Ref patch. This patch contains basic medical information about the trooper and allows a certified medic to gain quick medical reference to an ODST wounded in the field. Despite the armour's obvious advantage over standard infantry armour, it is not as protective as Mjolnir armour and is thus significantly more vulnerable to Covenant energy weapons, armour-piercing rounds and large explosives. The ODST helmet is seemingly derived from the standard issue CH252 helmet. The modern version of the helmet was adapted for use with Mjolnir. The technological advancements made, such as the CTCs, were incorporated back into the ODST helmet's regular production. It is made of titanium and is coated with the same heat-resistant material that the rest of the armour is to help disperse heat. The inside is lined with black padding to provide comfort when the user is wearing it. The helmet's faceplate is made of a strong glass-like material, which features the ability to polarize. The polarizing function is achieved very similarly to modern-day LCD displays. Two transparent and conductive films with a suspension of liquid crystals held between are activated by passing a charge through the dual layers of the visor. The liquid crystal particles are treated on one side with a mirrored polarizing film. When the charge is activated, the liquid crystal particles align themselves with the electromagnetic flux, turning their mirrored surface outward, instantly polarizing or depolarizing the visor. When polarized, the helmet's faceplate has a bluish silver color and obscures the wearer's face completely. It has been seen that visor colors can be different, and this is simply due to changing the color of the polarizing coating on the nanoparticles in the visor in a similar manner as to how sunglasses can have different colored lenses. The helmet provides excellent protection against small arms fire and small explosive attacks. The helmet is also essential in providing the ODST the ability to perform EVA, and also provides a heads-up display giving the wearer basic information including targeting reticle, weapon information, ammo capacity and basic health readout. The helmet contains an electronic compass with a digital readout at the apex of the HUD, showing the cardinal directions the wearer's head is facing in. There are air quality sensors and absolute pressure sensors that link to the suit systems and make decisions to lock the suit's external vents if the pressure drops below a certain point, or the quality of the air reaching the wearer suddenly deteriorates. The visor suite features an automatic magnification and image enhancement system controlled by the wearer's eye movements. For example, if the wearer squints while looking at a particular spot, the system will automatically zoom in. Both the image enhancement and the visor's internal polarization can also be controlled manually. The newest version of the helmet integrates with the user's standard neural interface to provide more tactical data to the HUD. Helmet integrated neural interfaces is another piece of technology that has seen widespread adoption from Project Mjolnir. There are also several external optical modules that can be attached to the helmet, including the ODST Command Network Module, or CNM, used by some squad leaders, and an optical integration module which enhances smart linking capabilities and communication systems. The helmet also contains air filtration systems, communications gear, and hermetic seals to the rest of the suit. Another version of the helmet is very similar in design, though its faceplate is noticeably less convex and is coloured a deep shade of blue. The model bears less resemblance to the CH252 combat helmet, most notably in the backward swept over the ears and jaw. Due to its cross-platform nature, the ODST helmet may also be worn with other armour systems. For example, Spartan 2s wore the ODST helmets in conjunction with their bodysuits during their training on their first combat mission. The ODST BIOS is firmware designed to be the first code run by the ODST armour when activated. The initial function of the BIOS is to identify, test and initialize systems devices such as the heads-up display, visor and other hardware. The BIOS handles most of the armour's software functions when initiated. Updates to the BIOS allow newer hardware to be supported and function. The Visual Intelligence System Reconnaissance, or Visor, is issued with the ODST helmet and greatly broadens the range of information available to an individual combatant. The Visor proprietary data management suite enables a user to link into the UEG, CAA and UNSC infrastructure systems at the local, national and global levels. However, access to each of these levels is administered on a need/rating basis. This allows the user to store and review mission content. The system also provides street-level navigation data and receives secure real-time mission data. In addition, every current issue ODST helmet, BIOS A291.81794.1B.01 or later, is equipped with low-light vision enhancement which outlines hostiles in red, friendlies in green, weapons in blue, and objects of interest in yellow. Visor's core technology was originally developed for Mjolnir-powered assault armour, though the first Visor systems date back to the early 21st century, alternately bloating in complexity and paring down to bare-bones HUD management since then. Visor was field-tested by Spartan 3 headhunters. Unlike the visual interface systems developed for the Spartans, the ODST Visor requires no neural interface. With the introduction of Mjolnir Gen 2, the Visor 4.0 suite is now utilised by Spartan 4s. This version is more similar to the previous incarnations of Mjolnir's heads-up display than the one used by the ODSTs, and the new BIOS firmware allows a modification to the suite with the Z5080 Promethean Vision module. As of 2558, the highest version number is 4.09, though several customised types are available to operators within the Spartan branch's specialisation wings. The Visor database holds pertinent and relevant information concerning battle to provide a distinct tactical advantage to the wearer. The database encompasses three main parameters situated in a carousel formation. Navigation, as an ODST lacks any motion trackers in his HUD, the nav component in the Visor database provides a far more dynamic integration of mapping systems than featured by standard motion trackers. It is very similar to the TAC map in all Mjolnir suits. The nav tab is possibly the most useful feature in the Visor database because it provides a complete bird's eye view of the current area in an interactive schematic grid. More importantly, the nav parameter also shows enemy forces in their entirety within the proximity of the highlighted area. This property of the database makes it very useful for tactical situations where planning is a key element. One downside to the enemy position interface is that the nav function does not identify enemies individually, such as by rank or species. They are all represented by the same red diamond. However, one may still discern which types of Covenant infantry are in the vicinity by the marker's relative movement speed. Additionally, the nav function only previews enemy locations within the vicinity of the Visor's operator. User-set nav markers may be displayed using this feature. The compass is synced with this parameter of the Visor database, as waypoints and beacons show up as integrated icons within the direction in relation to their location. Intelligence, or Intel, this parameter is a comprehensive listing of the current mission objectives. On the right hand side, a picture depicting the user is shown along with a symbol denoting rank, as well as the name of the operator. On the left hand side, the current location is shown along with a logo of the organisation, agency, business or entity associated with the location or mission. Another useful feature of this component is the ability to set a marker to the current objective's location, which is shown with a brief description of what the objective entails. Both the description and the marker are broadcast upon the user's HUD. Beacons generally represent current objectives. And finally, communications, or COM, which is pretty self-explanatory. There are other elements of the Visor database which include the compass, the key locations, map legend, grenade inventory, weapons and ammunition, Visor database tabs, waypoint lists and interactive local maps. And that concludes the outer layers of the ODST suit and helmet. Under the armor plating is the ODST Bodysuit, which is composed of several different layers of materials. The outer layer of the bodysuit is coated with a dense carbon fibre weave, which has been specially heat treated to between 2000 and 2500 degrees centigrade to have an ideal trade-off of tensile strength and elastic modulus, due to the carbon fibre reaching a median state between carbonisation and graphitizing. This makes it flexible but extremely strong and aids in reducing temperature experienced during orbital drop and against Covenant plasma weapons. Beneath this is a titanium polymer composite microfoil. This is a substrate of surface modified polytetrafluoroethylene, or PTFE, that is processed in a thermal graft polymerization induced lamination of the surface modified titanium foil. This quite simply results in a flexible but highly reflective and heat resistant layer that can reflect a great deal of incoming thermal radiation in the form of infrared, but also allows internal heat to be conducted through it, permitting the body heat to be able to be dissipated without taking on excessive amounts of ambient heat should the wearer be in a particularly hot environment, as is relatively customary for ODSTs. The inner layer of the black-grey undersuit is made of several layers of Kevlar weave with a Dylan armour, otherwise known as a shear thickening fluid. This is a non-Newtonian fluid containing suspended nanocrystalline particles of ceramic. When a shear force is exerted against the fluid-impregnated Kevlar, as is the case with ballistic weapons, the particles in the fluid form an almost instantaneous crystalline matrix, hardening the fluid to 98% the mechanical strength of the associated ceramic material in the blink of an eye, thereby acting as a liquid armour, the induced crystalline matrix relaxing and returning to its normal viscosity nearly immediately afterward, giving significantly more ballistic protection than the Kevlar would otherwise provide. The inner layer also contains a heating and cooling system which regulates temperatures to keep the user warm or cold depending on the weather conditions, and the heating and cooling system can also match the infrared signatures of the current weather allowing an ODST to go undetected in hostile locations. The bodysuit also doubles as a pressure suit to allow the ODST to perform extravehicular activity by performing mechanical back pressure, and a hermetic seal allowing a pressurized atmosphere to be held inside the suit. While the standard issue ODST BDU is fully capable for any role, there are specialized variants of the BDU. These suits are specifically issued to specialists of a certain field to provide them certain advantages during an operation. As such, specialized gear is only available by Mission Conditional Requisition or MCR. Depending on mission requirements, an ODST operative may request either additional or variant equipment that ranges from helmet attachments, gloves, battery, equipment or communications rucksack. The ODST UA personal protective equipment is an up-armoured variant of the ODST BDU. The ODST UA is issued to personnel whose specialization requires extra armour, such as demolition experts. This version of the battle armour is specifically designed to aid an ODST in CQB-type combat situations. The standard left pauldron is replaced with a longer two-piece ballistic plate, which aids in protecting the trooper's upper body while in firing stance, and also to reduce severe injury from plasma-based weaponry. The helmet is also issued with an optics device that aids the user in relaying images and video to teammates or command. The Sharpshooter BDU is issued to sniper experts in the field. This BDU is designed to give an ODST sharpshooter more freedom in combat. The standard right pauldron is removed, allowing the sniper to aim better and move his arm more freely with the sniper rifle, while the standard left pauldron is replaced with a larger plate to protect the sniper's arm from counterattacks. The sharpshooter variant is also issued with an OI ocular integration optics device attached to the helmet, while the Oracle scope on the SRS-99 can be smart linked to the user's HUD. The UA Bullfrog BDU is a BDU used relating to the specialist use of the Series 8 jetpacks, and specifically with the Bullfrog division of the ODSTs. The S1 Reconnaissance PPE BDU is a specialised Office of Naval Intelligence variant of the ODST armour. The armour is only issued to only reconnaissance agents for high-risk operations. The undersuit of the armour, which is superficially similar to the standard ODST armour, is designed as the S1 only field fatigues. However, the chest plate is replaced with a specialised one to provide stealth capabilities with little or no loss of endurance, specifically by reducing its IR signature and reflective surfaces. The torso part of the armour also varies from the standard version, having a green translucent orb in the centre. There is no shoulder pauldrons issued with this variant, which allows more freedom of arm movement. This variant also uses a version of the Recon helmet. The helmet, chest and shoulders of the ODST armour are compatible with and available for the Mark V platform. The chest on this variant is part of the up-armoured set of Mark V upgrades. The ODST helmet is also available as an upgrade for the Mark VI platform. After the instatement of the Spartan branch, numerous orbital drop shop troopers were recruited into the Spartan 4 program. Almost inevitably, the first generation Mjolnir ODST variant was updated for compatibility with Mjolnir Gen 2. Despite considerable differences from the standard version of the armour, the system contains many features expected of Special Forces gear, making it desirable for use by former ODSTs, and was manufactured by Cascade Stronghold Technologies. The Gen 2 ODST variant shares several design elements with its predecessor, although it also supports several changes. It still uses the standard helmet and shoulder pauldrons. It also features upgraded versions of the Mark 117 chest plate and the MLBE hard case. However, the chest plate covers more of the torso below the thoracic cavity. The rest of the armour, including the greaves and cuisses, gauntlets and boots, is more closely derived from the regular Mjolnir Gen 2. The Mjolnir Gen 2 Helljumper is manufactured by Cascade Stronghold Technologies under a research partnership with the UNSC and Cascade. The Helljumper variant is another instance of adapting the ODST armour to the Mjolnir Gen 2 platform. A handful of prototypes had entered service with the UNSC as of 2558. It is the most heavily armoured and bulkiest incarnation so far, with mostly smooth curved surfaces and many components bolted on. And finally, the Nightfall armour is a specialised variant meant for hostile environments. Like the standard ODST BDU, it retains full impact negation and a built-in visor suite, but also introduces best-in-class life support and a camera within the helmet's brim. The life support consists of an oxygen tank located in the chest armour. The Mjolnir Gen 2 adaptation adds a data crystal chip port, putting it in line with other Mjolnir variants. It doesn't include the armoured backpack like the standard Mjolnir ODST variant, but does feature storage pouches across the front of the lower torso. The ODST BDU is a tried and tested armour system, which has literally gone through hell and back. The suit is highly resistant to heat, keeping the wearer alive during the blistering heat of re-entry within the ODST's most iconic means of entering the battlefield, the Soev drop pod. It is very light, passively powered, offers ballistic protection second only to the Mjolnir, and has seen countless troopers through the toils of war. The orbital drop shock troopers, or the ODSTs, formerly referred to as Helljumpers, are an elite special operations component of the UNSC Marine Corps and the Corps' Rapid Reaction Force. They are highly trained soldiers and battle-hardened, sent on a variety of highly specialised missions, and thus needed equipment and armour on the field that wouldn't fail them and would be as able to tolerate the stresses and strains that the soldiers themselves handled on a day-to-day basis. Nothing has galvanised the ODSTs and come to be synonymous with the ODSTs than the very suits they wear. Well, there's maybe one thing: dropping feet first into hell. Thanks for watching. Stick your comments down below. I look forward to what you have to say. I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons: Nathan Silent Cartographer, Miguel, Brian and Sebastian, the Holds of the Mantle, Justin, Darian, Ty and Iron Griffin, my reclaimers, Zach, Deep Cover, Verbal Statue, Spesigo, Spartan Alpha 498, Guppy and Flint, my Metarchs. And all the other patrons that have jumped aboard to support the channel. I literally cannot put it into words how much that means to me, and there's so many of you now, it's awesome. If you like Halo lore discussed to insane levels of detail, hit the subscribe button and the little bell icon so you're told the second a new video hits the shelves. Be sure to support us on all major social media channels, including Discord, and if you really love the channel, consider heading over to Patreon and supporting the channel over there. It would mean the world to me and would free up more of my time for me to put into this content and other Halo related goodness. Take it easy everyone, and I'll see you in hell.